Snooker was once a niche sport in China, barely known beyond the smoky halls of Sheffield. But everything changed when a shy Chinese teenager, Ding Junhui, stepped up to the table and rewrote the perception of this sport in both China and the world. This is the story of Ding Junhui, the boy who didn't just put China on the snooker map, he redrew the entire atlas. In 2005, while most 18-year-olds were concerned with typical teenage worries, Ding was busy making history. He became the first player from outside the UK and Ireland to win the prestigious UK Championship. This was not just a victory. It was a seismic shift that forced the snooker world to recognize that talent could come from far beyond the British Isles. But Ding's success didn't happen overnight. To understand its magnitude, we need to look back to where it all began. Ding Junhui was born on April 1, 1987, in Yixing, Jiangsu. His introduction to cue sports came at the age of 8 when he accompanied his father, a pool enthusiast, to practice with a local pool expert. During a brief absence of his father, Ding picked up the cue and played against the professional, winning the game before his father returned. Recognizing his son's natural talent, Ding's parents decided to support his snooker training wholeheartedly. By the age of 9, Ding's father took him to the training center of the Chinese national snooker team near Shanghai. When his peers were enjoying their childhoods, young Ding was honing his skills, practicing pot after pot, frame after frame. To ensure Ding could pursue a career in snooker, his mother sold their home and grocery business, and the family relocated to Dongguan, Guangdong. Ding left formal education at 11, dedicating himself to snooker with a rigorous practice schedule of 8 hours a day. While his peers were playing football or studying, young Ding was honing his skills, practicing pot after pot, frame after frame. This early commitment laid the foundation for Ding's remarkable journey in transforming snooker in China. With initial success came new challenges. One might think that after his UK Championship victory, Ding would be riding high. But being a pioneer isn't all glamour and glory. Ding found himself caught between two worlds, feeling out of place in the UK's snooker scene while bearing the immense expectations of an entire nation back home. Imagine being barely out of your teens, living in a foreign country where you didn't speak the language, and having millions back home hanging on your every shot. It's enough to make anyone crack, and for a time, it seemed like Ding might. His form dipped, his confidence wavered, and whispers began. Was he just a one-hit wonder? But Ding Junhui is no quitter. He dug deep, worked harder than ever, and slowly but surely, the results started coming. By 2009, he had reclaimed the UK Championship title, proving to the world and to himself that he was no flash in the pan. Then, in 2014, came the moment that truly changed everything. Ding Junhui, the kid from Wuxi, who once couldn't even dream of a career in snooker, became the world #1. In a sport dominated by British players for over a century, a Chinese player had reached the pinnacle. Recently, even Ronnie O'Sullivan praised Ding, calling him the best snooker player out there. This achievement was not just a personal victory for Ding, it was a watershed moment for Asian snooker. But Ding wasn't done yet. In 2016, he became the first Asian player to reach the final of the World Championship, the ultimate prize in snooker. Although he fell at the final hurdle to Mark Selby, this moment proved beyond doubt that China was now a force to be reckoned with in the snooker world. You might be wondering, how does one player's success change an entire country's sporting landscape? Well, let's delve into that. Ding's career progress sparked a snooker revolution in China. Suddenly, snooker tables were popping up in schools and community centers across the country. TV ratings for tournaments skyrocketed. The Chinese government, recognizing the potential for Olympic glory, began investing in snooker development programs. The Chinese Billiards and Snooker Association launched a nationwide initiative to identify and nurture young talent. By 2010, over 500 snooker academies had opened across the country. From this point on, there was no turning back for snooker in China. Ding's influence extends beyond his personal achievements and the immediate rise of snooker in China. His journey has inspired a cultural shift, encouraging younger generations to pursue the sport with fervor. His disciplined approach, coupled with his humble demeanor, has made him a role model, not only for aspiring snooker players, but also for athletes across various disciplines in China. This shift has seen snooker clubs proliferate in urban and rural areas alike, making the sport more accessible than ever before. Moreover, Ding's success has fostered international recognition and respect for Chinese snooker players. Tournaments in China now attract global attention, with top-ranked players from around the world eager to compete. This influx of international competition has raised the standard of play within China, further solidifying its position as a snooker powerhouse. Ding's legacy is not just in the titles he has won, but in the thriving snooker culture he has helped create, ensuring that China remains a dominant force in the sport for years to come. The results have been staggering. Today, China boasts multiple players in the world's top 32, including prodigies like Yan Bingtao, who won the Masters at just 20 years old. The country now hosts several major ranking tournaments each year, attracting the world's best players and millions of viewers. Snooker, once a foreign concept in China, is now one of the nation's fastest-growing sports. Perhaps the most telling sign of China's snooker dominance came in 2019 at the UK Championship, the very tournament where Ding had first announced himself to the world 14 years earlier. In a moment of poetic symmetry, Ding reclaimed the title, becoming the first player to win it 3 times in 3 different decades. This victory was not just a personal triumph, but the culmination of a journey that had transformed both a player and a nation. The next time you see a snooker tournament on TV and notice that many players have Chinese names, remember this: it all started with one boy from Wuxi who dared to dream bigger than anyone thought possible. Ding Junhui didn't just put China on the snooker map, he redefined the boundaries of the sport. In doing so, he turned a nation of over 1 billion people into a snooker powerhouse. Not bad for a kid who once couldn't even reach the top of the table without standing on tiptoes.